Question 1. Who was the king of Judah known for his reforms and rediscovery of the Book of the Law? A. Hezekiah. B. Josiah. C. Amon. D. Manasseh. The right answer is letter B. Josiah was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years. His mother's name was Jedidah, daughter of Adaiah. She was from Bozkath. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord and followed completely the ways of his father David, not turning aside to the right or to the left. Question 2. What creature talked to Eve in the Garden of Eden? A. A raven. B. A donkey. C. A serpent. D. A lion. The right answer is letter C. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden'?" Question 3. Who led the conquest of Canaan after the death of Moses? A. Joshua. B. Caleb. C. Eleazar. D. Phinehas. The right answer is letter A. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, "Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people, get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them, to the Israelites." Question 4. Which prophet was fed by ravens during a drought? A. Hosea. B. Elisha. C. Amos. D. Elijah. The right answer is letter D. You will drink from the brook, and I have directed the ravens to supply you with food there. So he did what the Lord had told him. He went to the Kerith ravine, east of the Jordan, and stayed there. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. Question 5. Who was the first prophet to write a biblical book? A. Samuel. B. Amos. C. Hosea. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter B. Amos, an earlier prophet than Hosea and Isaiah, is traditionally considered one of the first prophets to write down the messages he received from God. Question 6. Which prophet went up to heaven in a whirlwind? A. Enoch. B. Elijah. C. Moses. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter B. As they were walking along and talking together, suddenly a chariot of fire with horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up into heaven in a whirlwind. As Elisha watched, he cried out, my father, the chariots and horsemen of Israel." Question 7. What was the name of Abraham's second wife? A. Keturah. B. Sarah. C. Hagar. D. Rebecca. The right answer is letter A. Now Abraham had taken another wife named Keturah, and she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shuah. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were the Ashurites, the Letushites, and the Leumites. Question 8. Who was the cupbearer to the king who returned to Jerusalem to rebuild its walls? A. Ezra. B. Mordecai. C. Nehemiah. D. Zerubbabel. The right answer is letter C. The words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. In the month of Kislev, in the 20th year, while I was in the citadel of Susa, Hanani, one of my brothers, came from Judah with some other men, and I questioned them about the Jewish remnant that had survived the exile, and also about Jerusalem. Question 9. Who was the father of King David? A. Boaz. B. Obed. C. Jesse. D. Nahshon. The right answer is letter C. The Lord said to Samuel, "How long will you mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem. I have chosen one of his sons to be king." Question 10. Which prophet had a vision of a valley filled with dry bones? A. Isaiah. B. Daniel. C. Jeremiah. D. Ezekiel. The right answer is letter D. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and he brought me out by his Spirit and set me down in the middle of the valley, and it was full of bones. He led me all around among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, and indeed, they were very dry. Question 11. Who was the Benjaminite who became the first king of Israel? A. Jonathan. B. Saul. C. Ishbosheth. D. Abner. The right answer is letter B. There was a Benjamite, a man of standing, whose name was Kish, son of Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphiah of Benjamin. Kish had a son named Saul, as handsome a young man as could be found anywhere in Israel, and he was a head taller than anyone else. Question 12. Who was the Moabite woman who became the great-grandmother of King David? A. Ruth. B. Naomi. C. Orpah. D. Rahab. The right answer is letter A. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. They named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Question 13. What was the name of the Philistine god whose statue fell over before the Ark of the Covenant? A. Baal. B. Molech. C. Dagon. D. Asherah. The right answer is letter C. When the Philistines captured the Ark of God, they brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. They took it into Dagon's temple and set it beside Dagon. When the people of Ashdod rose early the next day, there was Dagon, fallen on his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. Question 14. Who interpreted the dreams of a pharaoh and saved Egypt from famine? A. Daniel. B. Moses. C. Joseph. D. Samuel. The right answer is letter C. Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Joseph said to Pharaoh, "God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do." Question 15. Which woman saved the spies Joshua sent to Jericho by hiding them on her roof? A. Deborah. B. Rahab. C. Jael. D. Delilah. The right answer is letter B. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. "Go, look over the land," he said, "especially Jericho." So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. She had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. Question 16. Who was the judge known for his vow of Nazirite from birth? A. Gideon. B. Samson. C. Jephthah. D. Samuel. The right answer is letter B. You will become pregnant and have a son whose head is never to be touched by a razor because the boy is to be a Nazirite, dedicated to God from the womb. He will begin the deliverance of Israel from the hands of the Philistines. Question 17. Who was the priest during the reign of Solomon who was banished for supporting Adonijah? A. Abiathar. B. Zadok. C. Ahimelech. D. Eli. The right answer is letter A. To Abiathar the priest, the king said, "Go back to your fields in Anathoth. You deserve to die. But I will not put you to death now because you carried the ark of the sovereign Lord before David my father and shared all my father's hardships." Question 18. What was the sign that God gave to Noah after the flood? A. A star. B. Fire. C. A cloud. D. A rainbow. The right answer is letter D, and God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth." Question 19. Who married his cousins Leah and Rachel? A. Lot. B. Isaac. C. Abraham. D. Jacob. The right answer is letter D. Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, "I'll work for you 7 years in return for your younger daughter, Rachel." After Jacob had completed 7 years' work, Laban gave him his daughter Leah instead. Jacob then worked another 7 years for Rachel. Question 20. Which prophet rebuked David for his sin with Bathsheba? A. Gad. B. Samuel. C. Nathan. D. Micaiah. The right answer is letter C. The Lord sent Nathan to David. When he came to him, he said, "There were 2 men in a certain town, one rich and the other poor." David burned with anger against the man and said to Nathan, "As surely as the Lord lives, the man who did this must die." Question 21. What kind of wood was used to make the Ark of the Covenant? A. Cedar. B. Acacia. C. Olive. D. Oak. The right answer is letter B, and they are to construct an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, a cubit and a half wide, and a cubit and a half high. Overlay it with pure gold both inside and out, and make a gold molding around it. Question 22. Who was known as the weeping prophet? A. Jeremiah. B. Hosea. C. Isaiah. D. Ezekiel. The right answer is letter A. Jeremiah is often called the weeping prophet, due to his deep and passionate expressions of grief over the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple, as well as his forewarnings about the people's sin. Question 23. Who had a vision of a wheel within a wheel in the sky? A. Ezekiel. B. Daniel. C. Isaiah. D. John. The right answer is letter A. When I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground, beside each creature with its 4 faces. The workmanship of the wheels looked like the gleam of beryl, and all 4 had the same likeness. Their workmanship looked like a wheel within a wheel. Question 24. Which of Jacob's sons had a coat of many colors? A. Judah. B. Benjamin. C. Joseph. D. Reuben. The right answer is letter C. Now Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons, because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So he made him a robe of many colors. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them. Question 25. Who was the high priest who helped restore the temple during the reign of King Josiah? A. Eli. B. Phinehas. C. Hilkiah. D. Ahimelech. The right answer is letter C. Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the secretary, "I have found the book of the law in the temple of the Lord." He gave it to Shaphan, who read it. Question 26. Which king had the longest reign in the history of Judah? A. Rehoboam. B. Hezekiah. C. Uzziah. D. Manasseh. The right answer is letter D. Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 55 years. His mother's name was Hephzibah, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord by following the abominations of the nations that the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. Write on the comments how many questions you answered correctly. If you like this quiz, rate it with the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Amen.